Hello everyone, and thanks for stopping by to Scrap and Craft with Terry. Today we're going to revisit an older project that I done shortly after I started, I guess. And we're going to make an envelope pocket with fold-outs and journal space. So we're going to go ahead and get started. If you like my video, I just ask that you give me a thumbs up and check out my other ones. Now, the first part of it will probably remind you a little bit of the last video that we did because it was just like a faux pocket or a faux envelope. But this one's going to be a little bit different. So if you like my video, I just ask that you give me a thumbs up and check out my other ones. So this is going to be the outside of my envelope. And I cut this at 10 inches by 6 inches. And this is going to be our fold out. And this is 12 inches wide. Let me see, make sure it's 12 inches. Make sure I didn't cut anything off of it. It's about 11 7/8, I guess. So I must have cut a little sliver off of it. So it's 11 7/8 by 5 3/4. So now I scored this I started this video before and I had technical difficulties. So I've already scored it, and if you have a directional paper, you'll want to watch when you score it because this is going to be at the top. I'll just set it up on the scoreboard so you can see. So this would be our top flap. So I scored this at 1 and 1 7/8. So I scored it there, and then I come down here to 6 1/8, and I scored it there, and then we'll fold them, kind of burnish them down a little bit, and fold my flap down and burnish that down a little bit. Then for our fold out, I scored at 1/2 inch down here. Well, we would flip it over this way so our folds can go like they're supposed to. So I scored at 1/2 inch, and I scored at 4 inches, and I scored at 8 inches. So that's why I cut that little tiny bit off. It was like 1/8 of an inch off of the 12-inch line because it left just a little too much paper. Now, on our little flap here, I'm going to have, let me see, what am I going to have? I have these mats that I'm going to put on here. They're going to be the same as the fold out. Before I put these down, I want to ink. And I didn't ink yet, so I'm just going to go ahead and ink all of that really quick. I don't want to make it too dark, but I want to ink it enough so it's not just a whole lot of white showing. So let me get that done and we'll go on. Okay, now as far as I know, that's all the inking that I have to do. Now, on this panel here, it's going to go down this way. Now, I have a crease right here. Generally, when we're going to do a flip, we would put it underneath, but I'm going to leave my crease like this, my hinge. So when it hinges back, I have this. If I was to hinge it underneath, I would have to put it over here in the center of my page, and I don't want it that way. So I'm going to leave that hinge right there, and then it'll just go back like that. But before I do that, I want to put my mats down in here. So this one will go here and here, and then on my flap. But I'm going to round the corners on my flap first, my outside corners. So I'm just going to do that one and this one. And then this one and this one. Now this base paper is just scrapbooking paper. This paper is cardstock. Now this cracked just a little bit when I scored it, and I was folding it back and forth. So it cracked a little bit, but I inked it, so it'll be okay. And I have my numbers down here so I know where my mats go. So I'm just going to go ahead and glue this down. Now it's later in the day when I'm getting this done, so this might not get uploaded until tomorrow. So if it doesn't get uploaded till tomorrow, well, then we won't have a Thursday video, we'll just have a Friday video. But sometimes just doesn't work out that way. I was a little busy earlier, so I like this marbled paper. And I think it goes good with this, because this has some orange in it, has some yellow, so we have a lighter yellow, and then we have some oranges, or if you want to call this a lighter orange, but I think it'll go okay with them. And then we're just going to put this one on. So how has everyone's day been going? Hopefully good. Like I say, mine was a little busy a little while ago, but that's okay. So I want to make sure I have these about even. It's not even up there though. See if I can slide this a little tiny bit. I think that's better. So this is not really a huge insert, but there's going to be a lot of journaling space. I like making inserts. I like making all of the different parts of a journal better than I just like making the journal, because I think it's fun. Now I don't have this quite even. This is a little bit longer down here, but what are you going to do? This one here is a little cockeyed still. This should have been down just a little tiny bit, but we're not going to worry about that. I think I need to put a little more on this corner. Okay, now I want to lay this down. This was the 1/2 inch score that we did, and it's just going to sit like this. So I'm going to have this here, and then I'm not going to have the white in the background, and I'm going to like that. So on this part here, this is light enough. You can journal in here. So I'm just going to go ahead and glue on this, and I'm not going to cut these angles or anything. I want it to kind of blend in. I'll make sure I'm on camera. I want it to kind of blend in with the background. I don't want it to stand out like a sore thumb. So I didn't ink it. Make sure that it kind of lines up with my underneath. And I think that's good. So then this will fold back this way. And I didn't get it quite, but it looks good. It doesn't have to be perfect. Mine are not perfect. They are never perfect. And perfect is not what I'm going for. All right, now on this side, I want to put writing paper. So I'm going to have this little narrow one over here. And I just stamped this little blue flower for like the blue that's in the plaid. We're just going to have these on here. And I think because this is thinner, I'm going to use my Fabri-Tac and make sure I put my flower on the front. So we've had quite a lot of rain today. I was out just a little earlier. I had to go to the store, and we had little ice pellets in the rain. We just want to make for sure that we don't go over our fold here. Now, if you wanted to, you could just glue these at the top and let it flip up if you wanted to do that. I just wanted to glue them down because I'm going to have a little notepad also. So we'll have plenty of writing space in this little insert. Try to line my papers up as best as I can. I have to pull it down this way just a little bit so I can see. Looks a little cockeyed. Let me see if we can pull it back up and turn it a little bit. As long as my glue stays sticky. Okay. So let me fold this so we can move this over here. The video that I did this in was in 2022, I think. And when I first started doing my videos, they were pretty rough. But as you go along and you practice, well, you get to learn new things, new ways of doing stuff, and now you can make it so much better. Okay, so there's that. Now on this side, I'm going to put these little pockets, and these come from the paper that's on the front, because I wanted to just use paper, you know, from both sides. And I have little marks down here so I can see where I want to put my pockets. Now these are, let me put this back up here so I ain't going off the camera. These are 3 1/4 squares. So it doesn't matter which way I turn them, they're going to be even. I just want to leave, I don't want to go over my score line here on this one. So I just want to leave a little bit of a border around each one. I'm not going to put a thumb notch in it. I don't think they need a thumb notch. So let me find my little marks. And I think it was 3/4 of an inch from the bottom is where I made my marks at. Just so I could make them all even, because I don't always get them even. Sometimes when you're looking from up here at what you're working on, it's kind of hard to see if it's straight or cockeyed. And make sure we're on camera. It's raining really, really hard. Okay, so there are them pockets. Then I have these little labels that I'm going to make pockets out of, and I'm going to put them just down here at the bottom of these pockets, and they have little mushrooms on them. So we're going to go ahead and glue them just on the 3 sides. Just up from the bottom a little bit. Don't have to be too precise. Could probably go over this way just a little tiny bit, maybe. Only thing about art glitter glue is when you stick it down, it's there. You look at this. Yeah, I think it looks okay. And maybe somewhere around in there. If these ones aren't completely even, that'll be just fine. Now for in these pockets, I have these little pre-printed tags. So they just have little flowers and little birds. These are going to go in these pockets, and I just tied some blue and white twine around it, like the cotton twine. So then we're going to go like that. Then I printed up these little labels, tags, whatever you might want to call them, just on regular paper. Can journal on the back of it. This one says magical. And that can just stick right in there. This one says wish. And this one says inspire. And they go up just a little bit onto our tags, but that's fine. It's not a problem. So then when this folds out, we have our writing space over here. So here we would have journaling here. And then here I'm going to put a little notepad. And I have 6 pieces of paper. And they are about 3 1/8 by 5. And I took a little piece of the plaid paper. I'm going to staple these together. Just a couple staples up top here. And then I'm going to glue the plaid paper over the top. So we can just stick that right in there, and then we'll trim the sides off. And then we'll have a little notepad over here. Now I didn't put any, I didn't make these so if you put too much paper in it, it might be too full. I'm going to put this right about in here. So I didn't make any gussets or anything where you could expand it if you put too much stuff in it. So I think I want that about there. So like I say, this can be writing space. Now if you wanted to add another piece of paper there, you could add the paper, or you could just use that for journaling. And then this folds back like this, so it's an accordion fold. When I did my twine, I glued underneath this tie so it wouldn't come undone, and I just put a little bit of glue on the edges of my twine so they didn't unravel. So that would be like that. And that would fold over, and that would fold over. Now on top of here, I'm just going to fold this out. I want to put some lace, and we're going to cover up the pretty little flower. But I want to put some lace on here, and I'm going to lay my scissors so it just helps Maybe I should lay it out farther. I'll lay it out like that. And I think I'm still on camera. So let's see. I didn't ink this, but I probably could just a little tiny bit. I inked around the outside of it. So that shows me where I can't go over. So I'm going to use my Fabri-Tac. Now this is the lace that I use once in a while. I cut this in half because it's like a double lace. But tonight I'm going to use all of it just like it is. I better put my little gluey paper under here so I don't get glue all over my table. I think my Fabri-Tac's having a little hissy fit. I think we got a little, yeah, with a little piece stuck in there. Now I think we should be okay. So I'm just going to stick my lace on there. Just so it looks kind of even, I can bring this down more towards the edge of the flap. But I don't want to go over it, I don't think. It would be okay if I did. Then I'm going to trim this off. And on both sides, let me just turn this over. Okay, now I can take this out of here. Make sure I need a little more glue here. There we go. Now for in the center, I have this Memories. I'm going to put that right in the center. Kind of center it right on this line where my lace comes together. And right about in the middle. Then on each side, I want to just put a little gem. So we have orange in this flower here, and we have little orange stripes in the plaid. So I just want to put a little gem just out a little tiny bit from our word. I just like to use gems, we all know that. If you've watched me very long, you know I like gems. There we go. Now I don't know where that plastic went. There it is. Okay, now for our closure, we're just going to use Velcro. Now you could decorate this part here if you wanted to. I'm not going to. I'm just going to leave it like that. I like that paper. I want to see some of that paper. So Let me see which is the top, which is the bottom. This is my fluffy top. So I want to stick it right about in here, I think. And take this plastic off. And then I'm just going to fold it over, press it down. See, now I could cut a little bit off of the corner. Maybe I'll do that because I rounded my corner, so maybe I want to see that rounded corner. There. Okay, so now we can just pull this up, open this out and turn it sideways. Then we have our little writing tablet here. We have a little pocket here. We can fold this out this way to get to our other pockets and tags. And let me move them out of the way. Then we can fold it this way and we can journal on this spot here or use it for if you wanted to put a photograph or something. And then we can move these over here and we can journal on these. How cool is that? Lots of journal space, and then that just folds right back down. Okay. So that is our video for today. Like I said, might not see it until tomorrow, but I hope you come back to see me for my next video and let me know down in the comments. I guess I could put this in my little faux. We could set it in this way, or we can set it in this way. And then when you open it up, you can just open it and fold it out, and it could go on either page, wouldn't matter. So if you like my video, I just ask for a thumbs up and check out my other ones. And until next time, everyone, have a wonderful day and happy crafting. Bye for now.